Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is the Invest in Yourself, the podcast series. I am, of course, your podcast mogul, Phil Better. And today we're going to be talking about Facebook pages. Now let's roll that intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My hair's a mess. Hold on. There we go. It's a little hot here, or I don't know what's going on with my hair. I'm sorry. Anyways, doesn't matter. Today we're going to be talking about Facebook pages, why they are the best friend to podcasters, and it's going to be a great talk. So I'm going to pull up the slides, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you're listening to this as a podcast and you don't see the visual things, no problems. There will be a link in the show notes down below to let you guys download not download, but we'll get you a link to the video so you guys can see the video and that, or maybe I'll leave a link to the actual slides so that you guys can have it. I'm not really sure. We'll see. But here, let's pop up on the thing. I don't like this one. Why does it always? No. I think it's the last one. There. I like being in the bottom left corner. So yeah, Facebook pages, a podcaster's best friend, a guide by Phil Better. I love it. It's kind of cool, right? I have a guide. So let's go to the second page. Why? Let's go here. Why you need a Facebook page? Well, Facebook pages gives you the opportunity to be in front of Facebook's 1.5 billion. Yes, that's a B, not million, billion users if you use it correctly. And what I mean by this is if you're posting the right content, you're creating the right engaging content for your ideal listener to engage with, Facebook's going to take that and throw you into the algorithm and show you to more people that are in your demographic that meet that thing, because they want that. They want engagement. You want to create content that will make people stay on Facebook, because that's how Facebook makes their money. Remember, the more you get them to stay on Facebook, the more Facebook's going to share your stuff with the rest of Facebook, to the rest of their users. So that is something you need to realize. This is so important. You have to forget about you. It's now a business. Okay. Facebook is a business now. So what do they want? They want users on their platform longer, so that they will be able to show them more ads, which will make them more money. We got a Facebook user here right now. I am sorry. Give me a second. I'm going to jump over to Facebook to let me see who they are, because I want to give you a proper shout out, my good friend Wilfredo. My good buddy Wilfredo, thank you so much for showing up. I know you have a Facebook page for your podcast. Please feel free to leave your link in the show notes, not in the show notes, but in the in the chat, for other people to find it in the group, because I want you to promote your podcast. It's a pretty good one. I see you're doing some amazing things over at your network. So yes, please, Wilfredo, drop the links down in the chat for us. But thank you for tuning in. So yeah, we're going to talk about Facebook's 1.5 billion users. The more you get them to stay on Facebook, the more Facebook's going to reward you by sharing it to more, so you can grow your audience. And that's why you need a Facebook page, so that you have something that Facebook could share to their 1.5 billion users, and I'm planning to get more. Remember, there are only 3 million podcasts out there. Probably half of them don't even have a Facebook page, and then half of that, so a quarter of them, probably use it properly. So you guys if you're using it properly, you guys can make bank on it. But now let's move over to the setup. This is how you set it up. I'm giving you the bare bones. If you don't have a Facebook page, this is how you do it. The setup. You can go start. We can start get start we get started, sorry, by going to Facebook, clicking on create a page when you're logged in. Then you should enter the name of your Facebook page you want to use. So that's generally your podcast. You can call it if you have a nickname for your podcast, you can or your podcast listeners, you can call it that. Though, Weekly Wackadoos is one for the Weekly Planet, which is an amazing pop culture podcast that does reviews that he used that Mr. One of the hosts, Mr. Sunday Movies, aka James, used his podcast to promote his YouTube channel, but his YouTube channel also to promote his podcast. So they're two separate entities. Sometimes they do put clips from the podcast on the YouTube page so people can get teased by it and be like, oh my God, this is great. That's called repurposing content, which we'll talk about later. Anyways, they're called Weekly Wackadoos. So you can call he could call his Facebook the Weekly Wackadoos page, right? So people can go there and see, or you can call it the Weekly Planet. It's whatever he wants. He has multiple ones because he's grown his business. He's an amazing podcaster, an entrepreneur. I would love to talk to him and his wife about it. Good evening, Phil. Who is this? If that's evening, that means it's my good buddy Adam Millichip. Yes, it is. Thank you, Adam, for tuning in, brother. It's always a pleasure to see you. And just letting you know, Wilfredo is called the Stuck in My Mind podcast. And we're planning on having him on the show soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, look out for that. But yeah, so the setup. So, you want to call it, you want to enter the name of your show as the podcast page name. You enter the category you want your page to be listed under. So, podcast, entrepreneurs, sports, whatever you want. Then you enter the description for your Facebook page. This section is a great place to link to your speaker's podcast page, your podcast page, all those things, and an embedded code for your podcast, all those stuff. You want to make it so easy for people can see your podcast. Then you select create a page at the bottom of, and then here we go. The next thing you do is once that page is processed to the next section, we'll ask to have a podcast image. A cover image to the page and its image saved. These images can be changed later on. It's like setting up a Facebook profile page. Pardon me. At this stage, so you have your profile picture, your profile cover art. You want to do something that will catch the attention. So like your podcast cover art on your show for iTunes and all that, which stands out. You want to have two things that stand out. So when people search what you should be listed under, you're going to pop up and it's going to be like, oh, I like that, because they're going to say, oh, that's cool. Like, learn how to become a millionaire. Like, oh, that's going to catch something. Learn to be a billionaire, how to learn to grow your podcast, whatever it is, something that's going to jump out at people to catch. Best news for for Marvel, Kevin Smith's love handles, like that's going to be interesting. Stuff like that will catch people. Hey, my guy Aaron from Sir Sturdy, the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast network. Adam, so hold on, I forgot to introduce Adam. Adam Millichip is the producer, one of the executive producer and creator of the TWS Sports Podcast, an amazing podcast out of England that is hosted by autistic students that interview legends in the UK sports world and the world. And they have won multiple awards, have been given many honors. So make sure you go check out the TWS Sports Podcast on your podcasting platform. Then Aaron is the host of Horror with Sir Sturdy, one of the premium podcasts for horror, of all horror. They go from cult classics to very bad movies to some of the major ones. And he has a great community and an amazing podcast page. You should check it out. So that is Horror with Sir Sturdy. And then he has the second one, which I'm blanking on, Aaron. I'm so sorry. But it's a Saturday show, and he live streams this in his podcast group. So we'll be talking about that as well, teasing a little bit more. But I want to thank you guys for being here. You're all awesome rock stars. Yes, but so yeah, your cover art and your podcast, your profile picture should be eye-catching enough to bring people over. Now that the page is created, the host can post automatically to introduce the page and podcast for upcoming viewers. So do an intro, pin it to the top. Hey, this is this page. Please introduce yourself, this or something like that. Select the manage option that is located below the profile and cover image. This will let creator invite and followers to the page. So you can invite people to the page, give option on scheduling posts. Make sure you schedule your post, and we'll be talking about that next, right? The statistics the page has currently, and they will update more when people start viewing the page, and many other helpful things. So Aaron's other podcast that he has on Saturday is called Popcorn and Pints. It's another great one. They review all just great movies that go great with popcorns and pints, of course. But yeah, so thank you very much, Aaron, for sharing that with me. Guys, so after you set up, what do you do? Now you have the page. It's time to post, right? You have the page, just post random stuff. No. Oh, hold on. Before you go posting all kinds, you should create a content calendar. Remember, you want to be able to save time and maximize the content you already have. Look, if you have a podcast that posts daily, then your podcast can have content for weeks because you can have so much to post, but you don't know what to post. You just don't want to post like, hey, a new episode, new episode, new episode. That's boring. That's not going to get people to want to watch your show. Trust me, it's what everybody does, and no one likes that because it's like, oh, this is what everybody does. I'm not going to like what everybody else does. I like specific things, and I'm going to tell you right now what you do. It's also, hold on. This content calendar, what it does is it will allow you to know what needs to be done for what days and keeps you on track. Remember, you don't want to fall behind with your content creation because then you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this. If you know each day what's going to be done and you set up a content creation, like you have a system for content creation, because like we'll take my podcast. I record every Friday. This show is recorded every Friday live. So once it's recorded, I then edit it, I upload it to the feed, and it's done. Right? That's boom. Then I can create headliner for audiograms. So I can create audiograms through headliner. I get 2 to 3 of those. So it's like I'll clip this each part where I talk about something important, like content calendars or this moment right now. I can clip that. Then can schedule those posts on my Facebook page to create, teasers. But I can say, okay, I know what days I post what content, right? That's what a content calendar does. It allows you to know what content you need to create and for when. And so it keeps you ahead of everything. It lets you know what deadlines are there. So it's always important to have a content calendar and a content strategy. Content strategy, we're going to talk about later. I'm actually going to try and find someone who's a little better at talking about this content strategy later on. There's hundreds of them, and trust me, I'll find someone for us. But now you have your content calendar, okay, on Mondays, I'm going to create the content for the week or the month. Tuesday, I'm going to schedule the posts out. Wednesday is going to be review of stuff or whatever. That's your content calendar. Your boom boom. Okay, but Mondays we're going to post behind the scenes. Tuesday we're going to create upcoming episode. Wednesdays this type of content. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you know what content you need. So when you create the content, you know what content you need to create, and you can try different things. Right? Create 15 to 20-second promotional videos for upcoming episodes. Like I can say, hey guys, have you ever thought about creating a Facebook page? Well, on Tuesday, the 13th of October, I'm creating I'm releasing an episode where we talk about how good Facebook pages are. Boom, post that. So people are gonna be like, oh shit, he's gonna talk about Facebook pages, and they're gonna go and check it out. You can create animated explainer videos that expand on a podcast concept. So I can go, hey, Facebook pages, these are what you should post. Boom, boom, boom. Exactly what this is, quick animation video like that. I can use stop motion apps to create showcase podcast merch. I know my boy Sir Sturdy, as well as Jerry and Blaze have great merchandising stuff, and I have one. I want to go get. What? Hold on. I'm gonna pop up. Hold on. Where's my headphones? I'm gonna just remove this for 20 seconds. Hold on, full screen. Boom. I got my boy Jerry and Blaze's trucker hat on. It's bloody brilliant. I love it. It's the Cloud Chronicle. I'll just take it off and bring it up. The Cloud Chronicle podcast. He has some amazing merch. You guys should check it out. You should definitely check it out. I also have over here that holds my on my water bottle that I have here, the TWS Sports Podcast, so they can do some slow motion on that. They also have mugs, so shout out to them. You know, hold on. Sarlar Rugby, which has their own podcast, can do merchandising and stuff like that. So it's just stuff like that you can do. As I was just showing you that because I wanted to show some stuff. So off the boom, there we go. So yeah, like you can do showcase new podcast merch, old podcast merch, whatever you want. Behind the scenes footage. Right now I can take my iPhone and I can be like, hey guys, right now recording a live video to my group about what to post to their Facebook page. And this is just a video showing it. Boom. And I can post that to the page before it goes. And like I said, you can create an audiogram to highlight prominent parts of the show. Um, Going on. You also can do, if you have guests on, you can do notable quotes with branded graphics. My good guy, Mike Calavagani, I can never pronounce his last name. He does the Average Joe's Financial Podcast, an amazing podcast that I highly suggest. He does quotes from his guests on. He also does photos with his guests, but also Lloyd Ross does audiograms from the Grow Your Money Tree, Money Grows on Trees podcast. Sorry. Like that's and quotes on that branded that you can check out. That helps grow it because people will share that event and people will like it, share it, and you're branding it as they go because your stuff is on it. You can showcase your studio setup. I've done that a few times. You can share memorable Q&As from episodes with a graphic, and you always can repurpose previous episodes and just keep cycling through. There's some great ideas. Like, don't think of regular stuff. What do you want to see about from your favorite podcast? Look at your favorite podcast, what they're doing. If they're not doing anything to engage you on their page, don't stay on it. Like, find stuff will keep you engaged. All right, people, give me 1 second. This is a sponsored moment from Sarla Rugby, the amazing rugby team out of Sarla, France. Oh, yeah. Did I mention they were undefeated? Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to sarlarugby.com to find out more. Just search Sarla. That's SARLAT in Google, and they're the number one searched place because they're that good. Okay, here's a little story. Let's see. My little buddy Alberto. We remember Alberto from the email lists and podcast. He recently, he moved from Spain to Ireland. He loves soccer, but he lost his community of fellow fans, and he's been looking for a community in Ireland to connect with, right? Because Ireland's a huge place and they love soccer, but it's called football. But we'll just say it's soccer because mainly I have a North American audience, and I apologize to Adam if he's listening to this still. I know it's called football, and all my European fans, I know this is called football, but I'm doing this for the North American people. Anyways, meet my buddy Mark. He hosts a soccer podcast in Ireland and is looking to grow his audience. He's having a hard time standing out among the bigger shows out there, because celebrities, footballers, or soccer stars, they start their podcast and they just take over the game, and it's hard to get any traction. So a lack of a Facebook page left Alberto feeling left out because he couldn't find anywhere to connect with a community, because a Facebook page is for a community. And it also hurt Mark's podcast growth. And how did it hurt Mark's podcast growth? Well, because there was no place for his fans to go and find more stuff about his podcast. So then Mark discovers Facebook pages. He creates a content calendar, plans the type of content he's going to share, and uses the page to organize watch parties, for football games. He starts building a community of fans in Ireland. Again, he niched down. He lives in Ireland, so he was like, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to make a community of of football fans and soccer fans in Ireland, and I'll host watch parties so we all can get together and enjoy their sport together as a community, right? As both fans of my podcast, but also as fans of the sport. So that, and he uses behind the things. It's amazing, right? It's great. So a simple addition to his marketing. This is Marco. And Alberto found Mark's podcast on Facebook because one of his friends shared a behind the scenes video of a meetup Mark hosted for his show. So Mark took a video and said, "Hey, we're over at the XYZ pub over on this street, and we are looking, if you're looking to come out and you can share your thoughts on the recent game, right?" So this is thing, Alberto found it. He was like, "Oh my god, I know that pub or that place. I'm gonna go check it out." And then what happens is, from outsider to diehard fan, Alberto was able to listen to Mark's podcast, enjoy the content he was posting on his Facebook page, and became a diehard member of the podcast community. So he became that fan, that diehard fan. There's an essay out there called 1,000 Diehard Fans. I can't remember the name of the author. I'll make sure to post it in the show notes to this so that you guys can read it. But it's been revised, but it talks about how all you need is 1,000 diehard fans to live, pretty much. Remember, imagine you have 1,000 diehard fans paying you $10 a month. That's $120,000 a year. That's, or $10,000 a month. If you can't live on $10,000 a month, you don't know how to manage your money. And I would highly suggest you listen to the Money Grows on Trees podcast or the Stock Dirty to Me podcast to learn more. Anyways, so what this does is you create a community around your podcast page, right? Your podcast page is there. People can find your community, can interact, and they can come further along into your community. Now, once you have a Facebook page, you're building that community. How do you grow it? So what do? You're posting this content, you reach a plateau, you're like, "Hey Phil, we're not going any bigger." This is after months and months. What do you do? Well, you can do Facebook ads, so you can spend money to get more downloads or more members of your community, which will lead to more downloads. Or you can create a Facebook group, which is a home for your community. So what we're going to be talking about next week is we're going to be talking about Facebook groups. What are they used for? How can you connect it to your Facebook page? How can you actually create an income stream from them? I'm going to be sharing some other podcast Facebook groups that I want to show and highlight how great they are. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again for tuning in to Invest in Yourself, the podcast series where I, the podcast mogul Phil Better, help you grow, monetize, and make your show better so that you can free up your time and have a better life. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, to invest in yourself, and I'll see you on the next episode. If you're interested, I do go live. I need to figure out my ending, but I go live every Friday in my private Facebook group called the Better Podcasting Growth Facebook group, a Better Podcasting Growth Group. I need to find a better name for it, but we go live every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I do these lessons live, so you're able to ask questions live. Aaron, I'm looking forward to listening to it. If you're watching the video, I want to thank you very much for watching us on YouTube, but make sure you tune in live, like I said, into the Facebook group. The links are in the show notes down below. And ladies and gentlemen, have a terrific day. And remember to invest in yourself.